I hope everyone is doing well out there. Thank you for tuning in to our Piktochart series. My name is Sarah Kim, account executive here at Piktochart, and today we have a very special guest, Theo, who is joining us to share his user story as an instructional designer at Affirm, one of today's most innovative financial solutions. So, hello, Theo. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Sarah. How are you? Thank you for having me today.
Good. Thank you. We're excited to have you. So I'd love to share briefly about Theo first. He has been an avid power user within our platform, and he will be sharing how his team from Affirm uses Piktochart to enhance their communication design to their audience. So if you're ready, I'd love to kind of jump right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. So Theo, how did you first discover Piktochart?
So actually, it's a funny story. I was in charge of doing tooling, finding new tools for our team to use, our mighty team of two. And so I did a lot of research on different types of platforms that would allow you to create visuals within a timely manner. And that was the thing. It's like, because our company moves so quickly, we need to be able to create on the fly, but still create something that looks, that even though intentionally it is an MVP, but something that looks really good to showcase. And so I was actually looking at different companies, so like Canva and Venngage and whatnot. And what really interested me about Piktochart was that they had just as many features, but I felt like the price was just right, in a sense. Like, we were able to get more for our money for less than the competitors. And so when I discovered Piktochart, it was more on the trial basis. So I really had fun playing with the free trial. And then from there, really fell in love with the tools and the way that we were able to create in a quick manner. And yeah, we were able to deliver quality results within a short amount of time.
Awesome. And the rest is history, right?
The rest is history. I contacted Sarah, and then that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, your team has been creating a lot of stunning visuals, and I know you guys are in it very actively. So that's awesome. Alrighty, so next question is, why is visual communication so important for instructional designers?
Well, I think one of the things what people don't realize is that for instructional designers or anyone developing content, it's really important to create content that's easy to digest. And I think the adult learner, as well as the attention span of an adult, isn't much, because typically within the first 10 to 20 seconds, you decide whether or not you need to proceed with reading something just by kind of skimming it through. And why visual communication is important for us is because we need to make sure that we can communicate the right information in a quick manner. A lot of people oftentimes don't have time for learning because they're so caught up in the rest of their job and the time spent on their job that they have to do things. So if we can create something, we know we'd have a better impact through that. And so visual communication is another way that people learn. And people tend to learn by catering to the different learning styles, especially a visual communicator, a visual learner versus an auditory learner. You will probably have a higher result. I know for myself, I'm a definite visual learner, and I learn quickly through visuals. And Piktochart allows us to create simple infographics that are not also engaging, but very impactful as well. And so when we think of creating visual communication as an instructional designer, we had to make sure that we know how our audience learns best. And maybe not everyone likes a visual, but that's okay. At least you can cater to another part of the audience that actually can benefit a lot from that.
Yeah, it's true. And it is still most common. It might not fit everybody, but it is very common. And I think people don't realize, like, we have such a thing as information overload these days, mixed with shorter attention spans, like you said. I mean, like, I'm always looking at my phone while watching TV, right? Or, iPad while watching TV or something. We just have to kind of multitask more. And I think by, what we do and what we help you do, hopefully, is just breaking down like this complex information and pairing it with visuals so that the visual learners can kind of retain the information better.
Exactly. And then the point again with instruction is, like, as an instructional designer, it's important that people get what they need with the content that we're able to create. Otherwise, it was a waste of resources.
Right. So that's perfect, actually. How has visual communication in Piktochart benefited your organization?
Well, we typically, before Piktochart, we focused solely on the G Suite. So we had Word docs, we had slides, and adding Piktochart to our arsenal of ways to design training has actually helped us because, again, it's not what they're used to. Because the training organization originally started with G Suite, adding Piktochart, like just this year, has actually changed the landscape for how we present information. So because they're not used to it, it's just like, wow, I got to look at this. This is completely different. And so we are able to get our messages across quickly. We don't have to think about, none of us have a graphic design background. So being able to just whip something up within, let's say, an hour's time actually yields a lot of results compared to putting so much time trying to create like the perfect slide. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we move so quickly that we need to be able to relay information
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, I obviously don't have a design background myself either. And if I was to share a blank page and stare at a blank page and think, oh my gosh, I need to do this manual design, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're getting full usage of our templates and the time saving features that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your proudest creation with Piktochart?
My proudest creation is something that I created within a short amount of time. Yes, granted, there was a lot of review cycles, but at least I was able to put roughly a final product out to my stakeholders. And one of it was just talking about some talking points for one of our clients. We just had a new promotion from them, and we were just trying to say, what's the best way for us to communicate this information? What are the quick talking points that we need to get our teams to start using?
Right.
And so I think it's my proudest because it was my first one using the free trial. So with the free trial, even though I didn't have all the features that I wanted, I was actually able to create a piece that people were very engaged in. And they were like, wow, this is really cool. I mean, granted, it did take some time to kind of lay out all the information because it was heavy content based. There's just too much content, not enough space. So what would be the best way to translate all that? And so I just think I was very proud of it because I've never used Piktochart at that point, but I was able to create a piece that people used and they leveraged fairly quickly. And it was all around a good experience because we got the learners to engage and we got the learners to use the information right away.
Right.
Which is the important part.
Yeah, that's awesome. First and the best and proudest. I love that.
Right. It was the first. I was like, if this is the free version, I can't even imagine what the paid version looks like.
Yeah, and then we have two versions of the free version. You may have been on the individual free, but we also have 30-day full access for teams. We don't limit it. You can invite, the whole world if you want. So definitely we don't limit it. We like everyone to kind of see the full access because like you said, that's when you really realize what you can do with it, let your creativity flow and see what you create.
Right. Well, luckily I was on the individual one.
Yeah, but still it was the best. So I love that.
Right.
So if you could offer 3 most important visual communications tips to any instructional designer out there or aspiring instructional designers, what would it be?
So the 3 types of tips or just feedback that I'd like to give and share is 1, don't forget to explore. I think this is something that is a little bit of intimidating because there are so many different types of templates out there. But as long as you have your end result in mind, like if you're going to do an infographic or you're going to do a type of poster, how do you want it to be presented? What size do you want it to be? You could have like the super long ones, like an 11:17, or you can have a super tiny one, like a 6:6 or something. I think you should have at least the basic idea, and you'll get more of what it should turn out to look like once you go through the templates. So there's so many different types of templates, but that can be very daunting, but have your end result in mind. And I think the other one is stay true to your branding, because again, you want to have a consistent message and you want to know that your training is coming from a consistent brand, right? And so what is really unique about Piktochart is it allows you to actually configure your branding to Piktochart settings. So you can use your colors and your shapes and whatever types of backgrounds that you currently use in your current branding, you can upload those as well. So I think it's really cool that you can still stay true to your branding, even though you're using templates. And lastly, one of the really cool features is a social media feature, just because it already has pre-measured banners for different types of social media. And granted, maybe you don't want to use that for a Facebook ad or something, right? But you can actually use that dimension to create your own training based on that. So you don't have to always stick to the normal 8.5 by 11.
Right.
If you're an 8.5 by 11 fan, great. But there are other types of ways to showcase your learnings and your micro learnings so that it still continues to engage the audience the way you anticipate it to be.
Yeah, definitely. And what people don't realize about social media is they think it has to be some kind of social campaign, marketing, or whatever to use the templates. But really, one of our most used templates is our LinkedIn headers and LinkedIn post auto size, because it's just really easy for them to create a beautiful kind of visual to go with a LinkedIn update that they're sending out to their followers and stuff like that. So it's really versatile. So what is your favorite feature about Piktochart?
My favorite feature about Piktochart is the collaboration part. A lot of the other tools, granted, they were able to sell the bells and whistles, so to speak. But one thing that the others didn't have was the collaboration part. And if you're used to working with G Suite, you know that the collaboration feature is extremely important, especially when there aren't enough time. There's not enough time in a day to meet with everyone on something. So the collaboration feature actually allows you to tag different people within your organization to be like, hey, do you like this line to be blue or pink? Please let me know really quick, right? So it really gets the message and the request out quickly, and you get a quick response as well. And so that has been extremely helpful, especially if you're working on teams that are cross-country. But since we are in COVID times, everything that doesn't involve camera time is like the best time. So we're able to collaborate so much better. And that's what makes, I think, Piktochart more special, is that it just allows you to cut all the other types of communication and just get to your answer very quickly.
I always tell everyone, with Piktochart teams, like the collaboration is really where the magic happens. Like you said, checking if the line is blue or pink or something like that. That should never have to be an email or a separate chat or something, right?
Yeah.
Just keeping everything on one platform, as simple as it can be for everyone using it, I think, is the future for all tools out there.
I agree. And I think it just helps make collaboration and staying close to your teams much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. Well, I think that is a good place to wrap up today's conversation. Thank you, Theo, so much for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights with us. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, feel free to leave a comment on this video and let us know one thing you have learned today. So please stay connected with Theo or myself. You can reach us via email or LinkedIn if you'd like to learn more about Affirm and or Piktochart. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.